Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry. And Coach, the Tigers traveled down to Charleston to take place in the Charleston Classic, which is one of the premier holiday, whatever you want to call them, tournaments. And, well, the guys that made the brackets didn't do you any favor playing who the computers think is the #1 school in the country in Houston. I thought the Tigers really competed well. I know you don't like moral victories, but the team did compete well against a very, very difficult Houston Cougar team.
Yeah, I think it was great for us to play those type of games and some national TV exposure, and certainly if we learn from the experiences, hopefully things that'll help us later on. Houston is obviously really, really good. There's things we can take from that game. And then some things we could take from the other games that we didn't want to take. We're still trying to get consistent. I think not to get all over the place, but for us, like taking care of the ball is going to be, I think, a defining trait. And against Houston and Wake Forest, we turned it over 17% of the possessions and 16%, which is awesome. If we can do that, we'll be pretty good. We actually took care of it pretty well against Colorado. In the last game against North Texas, we turned it over on over 30% of our possessions. We can't beat anybody, and they're good too.
You had more turnovers in the North Texas game than you had in the Houston-Wake Forest games combined.
Yeah, and once again, it's turnover percentage. A lot of people that are basketball fans will talk about you got to get more assists. The issue with assists sometimes are if you're throwing the ball in the post and the guy takes a couple of dribbles and scores, they're not going to give you. Most scorekeepers aren't going to give you that. The other thing about assists is you actually have to make the shot in order to get the assist. So you can make a nice pass if the guy misses a shot. So turnover percentage is more controllable. Our goal is 16% a game, which is very aggressive. I think you probably live with 18. Anything over that is higher. Like, I'm looking at it. Like North Texas was 35%. Can't beat anybody. And they're certainly a top 75 team and good enough to win our league. I think Wake Forest and Houston, we saw some good moments against good teams. It started with our ability to take care of the basketball.
The Wake Forest game, you're even with them. Basically, it was a back-and-forth game the entire way. Then the offense kind of bogged down the final couple of minutes, and Wake Forest was able to pull away. What did you take out of that game?
Yeah, once again, I thought we struggled to guard the ball. Kicking myself a little bit, we changed ball screen coverage. I thought where we got beat was the kid Miller and Salas. We didn't do a good job guarding the ball, especially right-hand drives. Did it bog down? With 3.5 minutes to go, it was tie. We ran a ball screen set for Tyler Tejada.
I don't know if bogged down's a word. You didn't score.
Yeah, we didn't score. The last 3 possessions in a tie game, we had a turnover on a ball screen set. I'd like to have that one back. We ran a post-up where we got fouled, missed the front end of a one-on-one in a 2-point game. And then we ran another post-up where we got a 4-foot left-handed layup that we missed. So, it's simple to say make the shot, make the foul shot. I do think after ball security, the next piece for us becomes we've got to finish, in the red zone better. We're getting the ball in there a lot. But we've got to finish better. And then the third piece on offense, because good offense ties into your defenses, was doing a pretty good job. We're almost top 100 in the country at getting to the foul line. We've got to make free throws. Houston's clearly a better team than us. We lose by 16 points. We missed 15 foul shots. If you make 7 or 8 more of those, maybe it's a little bit different feel the last 5 minutes of the game.
And again, in the Houston game, if you looked at their stats going into that game, they had made, I think, 12 more free throws than their opponents had attempted. Mm-hmm. You went to the line almost double them in that ball game.
We did. We did a good job against their double and posting the ball and driving the ball. We've got to, it's this time of year, like these fact-finding missions, how much it was the opponent, how much it was us, and then what do we learn from that and how do we get better? But I think a big thing right now with our team and from our staff is we knew coming in we've got to be elite at taking care of the ball. Right now we've been inconsistent. Then the next piece is finishing better, which we didn't do as well last year as we needed to. And right now we're not, but I believe we can. And then I like that we're getting to the foul line. We've got to, to be a 20-win type team, we're going to have to make 70%, not 62% of them.
All right. We are coming up on Thanksgiving, and it's hard to believe, but recruits for next year are already in the mix. Tell us a little bit about recruiting from this year.
Yeah, we're incredibly excited that we signed two really good players and people early. Caleb Mbaya, is a 6'9" center. He goes about 230, 35 pounds right now. He's a great athlete, plays incredibly hard. Reminds you a lot of Charlie. He's up at Maria Goretti in Hagerstown, plays in the Baltimore Catholic League, Team Mello AAU. He's certainly a guy that was recruited by a lot of programs above us, so he's going to be really good. And so's Chike Nadefo. He's the younger brother of the kid Casey Nadefo, who was the MVP of St. Peter's Elite Eight run a couple of years ago and then went to Seton Hall. Chike is a 6'7", inside-outside wing. Plays at Vermont Academy, one of the best prep schools in New England. Really good. Like, these guys are both going to make a big impact. Loyal guys, good students, good people. So, I told you I'm really excited about some of the freshmen we got this year. I would expect these two to make an equal, if not better, impact right away for us.
When did it become so early that these guys are signing?
Well, no, the early signing period, November. I think what our staff, like Patty O'Connell and Parfait Bate and Chris Conway, have done a really good job the last couple of years of finding really good high school players early. And we've tried to focus in on them. And then now we've got to do, which we have a pretty good track record of, is the Charlie Thompsons, the Nick Timberlakes, the Tunstals, the Gibsons. We gotta develop those guys, keep those guys so that they become the next great players. You're seeing a couple freshmen play a lot of minutes for us right now. I thought Makai Lowry was our most consistent player in Charleston. And don't forget, the last two games he had to play a lot of point guard because Radia got hurt. So there's a guy who was playing center last year around this time of year in high school when we went to see him play. And then Tyler Tejada has shown flashes of brilliance. He's got to get consistent, but he's shown tremendous potential.
Sunday at TU Arena, the Tigers will take on Morgan State. Always great to play the locals. Should be a good crowd on Sunday afternoon. Morgan is playing in a tournament as we record this, so you really don't have that much of a feel of them. They've played a couple of non-D1s early on, but it's going to be a tough battle.
Yeah, we'll expect them to bring some pressure and change defenses. They have good size, and they've recruited well. The kid Winston Tabbs in particular, Kevin Brodus does a good job. They've played some really strong teams like Arizona and BYU out west, and then a couple non-ones. So we'll get a little bit more taste of them over the next couple of days that they play down Tuesday, Wednesday in Cancun.
What do you do during a holiday week?
Yeah, so we practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, not a lot of contact. We got some guys banged up. Go early Wednesday and let these guys get out of here. The rest of the day, Wednesday and Thursday, a couple guys are coming over to staff's houses, including mine, and then we'll go hard on Friday, Saturday.
What time should we be there?
Anytime you want, brother.
All right, Coach. Well, we want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving, and come on out to TU Arena on Sunday, 4 o'clock, when the Tigers take on Morgan. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report.